VR shooters are a different beast. We're not just sitting there with a mouse clicking freaking heads, blowing them up. No sirree, Bob. In this, you're going to be ducking behind cover, manually reloading mags, and of course flinching when you're getting flanked. If you're looking for the best multiplayer FPS games in VR right now, then you're in the right place, because that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. And of course, we're going to be covering the Quest, PSVR 2, and PCVR. So we've got a little bit of something for everyone, baby. But of course, before we dive in, I ask you one small favour, and that's to smash that like button if you enjoy this video. And of course, if you are new to this channel, then smash that subscribe as well. I would love to make it to having a 100k plaque back here. That would be freaking delightful. Let's start with the VR classic, and that is Pavlov. Now, of course, it's available on multiple different platforms at this point, pretty much all of them. And this is the Counter-Strike of VR, fast-paced, community-driven, and endlessly moddable. You can go from World War II bolt action realism to modern tactical SWAT raids, even into frickin' trouble in Terrorist Town in one singular session. Now, this game is just friggin' awesome because of all that. Not only that, but it just feels bloody amazing to play this, and it gets a ton of upgrades, making it just continually better and better. The gunplay feels punchy, reloading feels skill based, and of course all of that workshop content is just making this game bloody insane. Whether you want a serious round or a meme filled chaos, Pavlov is definitely one of the top picks that you can go for in multiplayer FPS. Now it's time to jump into something a little bit more vertical, and that comes to Population 1. It's a battle royale, but that means you literally have to climb skyscrapers, wingsuit across the map, and outflank your enemies with real world movement. It's cartoony, but don't let the visuals fool you. Good aim, good comms, and movement matters a lot. Plus, the devs keep updating this game continuously with brand new updates, so if you've slept on this one for now is really the time to jump back in and get into the action of this. There's a ton to do in this, from solos all the way up to getting into a squad. You can even do some crazy ass stuff in sandbox these days, and not just that, but it's also a free game, so pretty easy recommend. Next up, if you like your FPS shooters with a side of anxiety and maybe going grey by the end of your existence in the game, well then you have Ghost of Tabor. It's the VR version of Escape from Tarkov, tactical looting, high stakes extractions, and of course infantry management that makes your backpack feel like a real life Tetris game. It's not just run and gun. You creep, you listen, and you choose when you're going to engage in that next fight. If you make out alive, well, the loot just hits freaking different. Easily one of the most immersive and tense shooters in VR right now, and there's a good bloody reason for that, because, well, like I've just listed out to you guys, this is one of the most intense experiences you're going to have. Your heart will be pounding the entire time you're inside of this thing, even if you're with friends, but my god, if you run solo, yeah, it's bloody nerve-wracking. Next, it's time to go in a different route, and that would be a Rainbow Six vibe. Well, that brings us to Breaches. Breaches VR is all about tactics, utility, and tight team play. If you have wall charges, drones, zip lines, revive shots, it's not just about who shoots first, but how you approach the fight. Clean visuals, responsive gunplay, and a strong community make this easily one of the easiest games to squad up in and then get tactical. And unlike Siege, this one you actually have to tactically peek around those corners in real life and hope that you don't get pinged in the head. Of course, using some of the tactical gear just adds a little bit of an element to this, but really it's all about the team play and just getting in there and having a good time. The community around this is really solid, so if you're looking for something to get into with a good strong community, Breaches is still that. You're going to get into a bunch of fun matches. We're changing up the pace a little bit. If you're looking for something a little bit more Call of Duty-esque, well then I got you. That is Contractors VR. Contractors VR really just feels like you've smashed Call of Duty with VR physics. It's slick, fast-paced, and feels satisfying. The movement system is more forgiving than some more of the sort of hardcore sims that we have in this list, but still grounded enough to reward the skill for using the game how it's supposed to be played. Plus, mods have really turned this into the sandbox experience, adding things like Halo, Star Wars, World War II, really you name it, there is something there for everyone to get into, whether you want a great casual fight or just absolutely modded mayhem. Now you can get into and re-experience some of your childhood FPS games, but in virtual reality, and on top of that, you also just have a ton of other content in there just to get into and go frigging crazy on. Speaking of Contractors, the fun doesn't stop there when it comes to the Contractors franchise. We also now have Contractors Showdown Exfil, and this is a beast of its own. The devs recently dropped Showdown Exfil, and this really takes the extraction shooter format and frickin' turns it up to 11. You have insanely huge maps, tense pacing, and of course that loot or lose energy. This is a fresh take on that sort of genre, and it really feels like it takes a tactical shooter and rewards the patience and positioning of your experience inside of the zone. If you're one that's worthy and you manage to pull out of there an Exfil, it feels freaking amazing, and not just that, the gunplay and gunfighting in this game just feels absolutely polished and top notch. A high recommend from me. If you want that X-Files experience, then this is gonna be it. Next up we go into an oldie but a goldie, and that would be Onward, and this has just received a brand new 2.0 update, really just polishing the game and bringing it back in line with all the other modern shooters that we have in virtual reality right now. Onward really leans into that realism and of course that sort of mill sim, so if you're looking for something ultra realistic and gritty, well then they have what you're looking for. You've got no crosshairs, limited HUD, and you really have to communicate with your squad to be able to survive in this game for very long. It's slower paced than Pavlov or Contractors, but if you're looking for something really just closer to sort of maybe like Armor in VR, well this is kind of what you're looking for. With coordinated pushes and serious tactical gunplay, Onward still holds up on its own, especially with a bunch of friends. It's a real treat if you're liking that mill sim experience. Well, if you're looking for something that's a little bit more of an esport feeling game and something that's just kind of flashy and polished, well then Vail is probably going to be what you're looking for. Vail is quite a clean, competitive experience with some of the more sort of polished presentations of a VR shooter right now. You can feel the devs aiming for that sort of high fidelity, low latency experience within the game, and the shooting mechanics are super tight as well to go with that. So think kind of CSGO meets VR with ranked leaderboards, slick arenas, and of course if you're aiming to be at the top of those scoreboards and that's more what you're caring about in your FPS games, then this one is probably going to be for you because it kind of rewards that type of player who just wants to grind and get to the very top of the league. So this one, pretty cool. I do think that they need to do some more work to this game to make it perfect, but still pretty damn good. Now that covers all the games that we have out right now that you should definitely be getting in your life, but of course if you're still looking for something new, well we have something on its way coming this year that I think is going to be amazing. So I really wanted to add to this list just to make you guys aware that this is coming, and it's coming to all platforms, so get ready for basically Battlefield in virtual reality. This is Forefront, and this is going to be coming later this year, so get your eyes ready because the trailer I'm showing you just honestly got me freaking hyped. This is Forefront VR. This one is looking to blend all the best parts of a milsim tactical shooter with a fresh competitive edge. There's still a lot we haven't seen yet, but really the early previews show a ton of promise of realistic gunplay mechanics, smooth movement, and squad-based gameplay. Not only that, but it's just going to reward you for getting in there, squirrel shooting across the map, sniping someone in the face, yeeting down to the next tank, jumping in that bad boy, blowing someone in half, getting into a plane, flying across the sky, and beginning your friggin' cycle again. This one really does just look like it's going to be an adrenaline filled, just insane experience. So if this one lands right, it really could be probably one of the biggest games this year in the FPS sort of side of things. I really hope this one hits as hard as I want it to be. And there you have it guys, that is your list of the best multiplayer VR FPS games that we have currently in virtual reality as of right now. There's probably a few that I've missed on this list, so feel free to add them in the comments down below if you think there's some other games that I should definitely be highlighting. I'd appreciate that, and of course share your knowledge with the community so that more games are being seen by everyone that watches this video. Not only that, but I'm working on a solo version of this video as well that's just talking about all the solo experiences you can have in the FPS shooter sort of genre, so that's going to be coming out very soon. If that sounds interesting to you, make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss that video in the future. Other than that, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out, like, subscribe,